One of the most despicable, but also diabolically successful men of the 20th century was Saul Alinsky, the author of Rules for Radicals. Yes, he dedicated his book to Lucifer, and yes, his work has been used to tear down rather than to build up. But there's a certain effectiveness found in his rules. Number 4, for example, states, make the enemy live up to its own book of rules. Another way to say that is expose their hypocrisy. Join me in the Economic War Room, where we will expose the hypocrisy of those waging economic warfare against you and your family. Then we'll tell you what you can and should do about it. Over about the past year or so, when the pandemic hit home and everything was shut down, we've seen the full-throttled nanny state in all its glory. We've been told when we can leave our homes, whether or not we can attend church, or even visit a sick friend. We've been told what we're allowed to think and what we're allowed to say. And that control leapt from the public health and to politics, and now it's in the marketplace. In fact, it is the marketplace where it blossoms into full-blown economic warfare. For 3 years on this program, we've explained how we're already in an economic war, and the fighting continues to intensify. There really is no aspect of our personal or professional life that's immune. We have 2 major enemies. One is foreign and the other is domestic. And as Sun Tzu explained, all warfare is based on deception. In this case, our foreign enemy is trying to deceive you, and so is our domestic enemy. The manner of deception is something called hypocrisy. The word hypocrite originally comes from a Greek term used for actors wearing masks. In this case, it's more of a do as I say, not as I do thing. We're constantly being lectured by the progressive left. Wear a mask, don't be racist, never question authority. All of this is designed to strip you of your personal liberty for what they say is the collective good. And it's global. The Chinese Communist Party is pushing this on their own people and also the rest of the world. The progressive leftists are using the same approach just closer to home. Not only are you shamed, you're also cut off from social media, denied access to goods and services, and may even be fired unless you conform. The way we fight back is to point out the extraordinary hypocrisy of those who would be our masters. And it's there. Pointing out hypocrisy is one of our most effective weapons. This episode and our corresponding economic battle plan will provide you plenty of ammunition. And as I mentioned in the opening, this is a Saul Alinsky tactic taken straight from Rules for Radicals. Make the enemy live up to its own book of rules. That's how you can protect yourself from the economic attacks they're planning. If we properly shame the hypocrites, they will attack one another and may even retreat. We've seen a few examples recently, both of hypocrisy and the retreat when exposed. Case in point number 1, the mass furor over Georgia's attempt to secure their elections. The big issue was the audacity of Georgia to ask voters to produce an ID. Coca-Cola, Delta Airlines, Major League Baseball, and maybe 100 other companies immediately denounced the state of Georgia as racist. Coke and Delta are based there, and Major League Baseball was planning the All-Star game there. But in obedience to the woke, all 3 and many others set about trashing Georgia. The irony, of course, is you can't fly on a Delta airplane without an ID. You can't pick up baseball tickets at will call without an ID. And the list is really pretty long. The woke left wants you to have papers and an ID for just about anything you do other than voting. In fact, Washington Examiner listed 24 things that require an ID almost a decade ago, and the list continues to lengthen over time. You need an ID to buy stuff, to get a job, to sign up for welfare, to cash a check, to buy alcohol, to rent a house, to rent a car, to adopt a pet, to go fishing or hunting, and even to buy medicine.